record this, and then we'll get moving here. Uh, oh boy, Jay, you're really dating yourself. So Jay said, "Hey, I was a guinea pig for Lynn Richards with the nudist program, which is the precursor to NVivo, um, and really dating yourself there." Okay, I'm assuming that's at least 20 or 30 years old. Um, all righty. So let's get going here. So first thing first, first, I'm sharing my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. 1997. Yeah, there we go. 30 years. Um, so I want to say one thing about putting data in. And the typical protocol is people have 10 interviewees. Great. And each one is a file. Great. And then you enter in 10 interviews. Okay. And you can do that. I'd like to curate the data before I put it in there, particularly when I'm using AI. I don't want any, um, well, I don't want themes that are touching on very different interview questions. I guess there's some use cases that might be wanting that, but so one, you can put in interviews as they are, okay? You can also put it in by an interviewer question, okay? So maybe you want themes around each interview question that you have. That's a possibility. The other way you may want to curate is by the research question, So maybe the first part of the interview is research question one, and the latter half is in research question two. I have 10 participants. I'm going to make 20 files, and I'm going to upload the 10 files of regarding research question one, which may tell the first three interview questions. Okay, so several ways of doing it. I want to keep things as narrow as possible. Okay, so okay, so just to say there are different ways of putting it in, and these are three such ways. Okay, we can log in now. All right. Just go to this link. Okay. As you're going through that link, and maybe Melissa put that link back into the chat, just so folks can have that. Welcome, Barney. So what I'm going to do is an inductive thematic process here. And in that inductive thematic process, I'm going to upload data. You can also upload audio or video, and we transcribe it for, I think it's 25 cents a minute or $1 a minute. I don't even know what it is here. Melissa, what is the fee per minute?
25 cents.
25 cents a minute. Okay. So then all you have to be the expert in it. So for sure you have to read and reread your qualitative data, because when those themes come out, how do you know if they're good or not? You have to know this. So you can't avoid reading through these things, okay? We're going to inductively generate codes. What does that mean? What that means is we're going to have interviews, or okay, and the tool is going to discern the important excerpts, combine those important excerpts together, and generate a code name and code description. Then there's a refinement process. That's the human part, which is, hey, you know what? There's only a few folks relating to this code, or this code doesn't make sense. So there's a refining process to be had. We do an analogous process with the themes, okay? So in this process, you have a bunch of codes, and now we say, okay, great. Which codes go together? Okay. Okay. Well, let me back up. First of all, how many themes are there? You have to discern, so I have 10 codes. Do 3 themes capture that? Do 5 themes capture that? So defining the number of themes, and then which codes go together with which themes, 2, and then generating a code, a theme name, and a theme description. So discerning the number of themes, identifying which of those codes go together, with which themes, and then generating a theme name and description, and I'll show you that. Then there's a refining process to be had as well. The third broad step here is really the research question theme alignment. Most people are not doing thematic analysis for the fun of it. They're saying, hey, I want to answer some research questions or examine some questions here. So we have a process where we can now align your study aim or research question with particular themes. Okay. And then we'll come up with a rationale, okay, AI rationale for why those two things go together. And then there's a download process. There's also a very straightforward kappa analysis part. And if anyone's interested, we can get into that. But at the moment, we'll just keep going. There is also deductive process, which is basically you're preloading your code names, okay, based on previous research. There's a priori, okay, a priori codes that we want to look for. And what the tool will do is find excerpts to support, okay, to support those codes. Okay, and then we'll get there. All righty. So let's get to it. Let's just go through a basic process. Make sure I'm logged into the correct account here. That's not where I want to go. Try that one more time. Okay, to log out, just want to make sure I'm in the right one here. Okay. And then once you log in, we're into the qualitative. All righty. And then I don't see anyone has shared with me thus far, but that's okay. But if you do have data, you feel free to email it to me, and I will and I will use that. Okay, with your permission, of course. Okay. So basically, then we get logged in here. Okay, we create a project. You can create a new project by putting in the project name, purpose statement, and research questions. Okay, or you can, as I'm going to do here, click on sample. Okay, so this would be a time for you to all to get logged in, and then to go to sample, or to upload your data. Okay, so I'm going to do the psychology one for the moment. Okay. Just the transcripts. And I have 4 transcripts, okay? 2 around anxiety, 2 around depression. And you can, for those that are just logging in, you can go to add transcripts here, okay? Where you can upload your files, upload your audio files, or blank transcripts where you can just paste in, okay, text, or you can start typing in text, things of that sort. So at the moment, I have 4 interviews, angst 1, angst 2, depression 1, depression 2. So let me make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, so the first part is go to AI tools, okay, and go to inductive coding. Just to state again, it's going and looking for excerpts that are important in the data, combining those similar excerpts, and then generating a code name and code description. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, so it's identified 25 codes with 55 excerpts, and I just add them right to the project. There's other nuances to be had, but for the moment, we have our code sitting here. Okay. That refining process is you actually going into the 3 dots next to the code, going into the details, and looking at the code name, code description, and supporting excerpts to make sure they all hang together. Okay. All righty. There's also 2 other ways to assign codes, by the way. One is manually and putting in a manual code, manual description. And once you have that manual code and manual description, you can just go and highlight a particular excerpt and just add it to that code. That's a manual way of generating the code name and description, and then adding an excerpt to it. You can also have a hybrid version of the code, which is actually selecting an excerpt that you find important, going to add code and AI assist. And what the AI does is it will now generate a code name and description, okay, for your excerpt. So those are now 3 ways to add codes: fully AI, fully manual, or AI assisted that's naming it. Alrighty. Let's move on to thematizing. To thematize, we also go into AI tools and go to automatic thematizing. And here, as I stated, the first step is to figure out how many themes are represented. Now, sometimes there's 20, sometimes I did several projects this morning. There were just 2 and 3 themes there, or 2 and 4 themes. So I have a personal bias, and my personal bias is I don't want necessarily 20 themes. I want my reader to wrap their brain around it and to be substantive when they walk away of, hey, what's being represented here? So I'm going to just knock it down to say I don't really want 13 themes or twice as many themes. I can edit it and say I want 7 themes or 4 themes or whatever. Okay. So now with those 4 themes, and you can, pardon me, with those 7 themes, I have my theme names here. You can see many of the codes. Okay, you have several codes that created that fragmented healing, okay, theme, and ditto with 5 themes in this one and so forth. Okay, I'm just going to apply to project. And here you can see that icon there, okay? Which represents the theme, and then the codes are underneath it. So there's one theme, debilitating emotional burden, okay? And then the 2 codes that go with it. The 2 and the 6 are the number of excerpts that are inside of exhaustion beyond rest, and 6 within persistent heaviness, which adds up to 8 for that theme. And you can go into the 3 dots to the right of the theme, into the details, okay? And then you can then look at that theme name and that theme description, okay? And make sure that all kind of hangs together. That's that refining process there. There's other ways to add themes. Okay, so one is to add a theme. I can enter a manual theme and description. Okay. Manual theme description, and I can drag a code into that. Okay. So manual theme, drag a code into it or drag it out as the case may be. I can also have a hybrid version of the theme, which is AI assist. And what I can do is either say, you know what, I want these codes to go together. Okay. And then generate a theme. Okay. Well, that's how it goes. So I'm selecting the themes, the codes to go together, and then letting the AI suggest a theme name and theme description. Okay. So analogously to the coding, I have a fully AI, hybrid, and manual. Ditto with the themes, I have a fully AI, manual, hybrid. Okay. Okay. What I like to do now is go into the insights document, and I like to jump right to the bar chart. And in that bar chart, I know I only have 4 participants, but I like to see the representation. Here's my themes here. Here are the excerpts on the x-axis, and here are my interviewees on my over here. And okay, so very often I like to see representation of many participants, okay, in the theme, okay, um, and with several excerpts each. And let me just go to a project I did this morning, by the way. So I just think it's worth going through. It's worth going out for a second. Here I have lots of folks in there, okay? And I have several themes. This is reflections around chemistry class. And when I go to those insights into that bar chart, okay, show you. So you can see this theme here, because it's only had 4 themes, but my gosh, look at the representation, okay, in that first theme, okay? Chemistry in everyday life and practice, okay? You have almost 80 excerpts and tons of representation. That's a great theme to me. All of these folks are contributing to this, all right? This one would be less so, all right? In this particular case, given the multi-participants and multi-themes in each one, multi-excerpts in these things. So just to share with you what these things could look like, okay? That's an example. It's a great example, I think, of what 3 awesome themes can be. You have a theme with 65 excerpts with God knows how many folks in here. All right. So that's pretty terrific. All right. My apologies for switching back and forth. I just wanted to show you that. Okay. And I think I was under psychology and 612. Here we are. Okay. So going back to insights, going back to the bar chart. All right. So we can again see the themes here, the number of excerpts in the x-axis, and the participation of the interviewees in the different colors here. So another great thing to do here, okay, is really now tie the research question, okay, to the theme. So here I have several research questions. How do individuals describe the impact of anxiety and depression in their daily lives? Okay, and the second and third question. Now, what you can do is to tie that question, I can use AI to see which themes in particular go together with that. That's one way to do it, okay? The other way is to select all of them and then just kind of edit after, all right? You may just, and I do that, all right? So I typically select all the themes, but just to share with you that the AI suggestions can also get you down that road, okay? Once I have the AI suggestions, tying those themes to those research questions, I hit submit. Takes a second. So what I have here is the first research question. Okay? Then I have the first theme it was tied to, navigating mental health challenges. And what's underneath this is a rationale for why that theme and that research question go together, okay? So that's really important because that's going to start laying out your results chapter, okay? Research question 1, which theme goes with it? Why does it go with it? And then I want to do a deep dive into each theme. For example, I'm going to dive into navigating mental health challenges. Okay, I'm going to go into theme description. That's the first theme, okay? Now, again, when I work with students and faculty, I do really endorse all of the excerpts and then let you edit it thereafter, okay? We're working on a process to kind of streamline that, to get rid of repetitions. So we're working on that. But at the moment, I think the thing to do is to check all, okay? And when you hit submit, we're going to have a deep dive of this theme description for debilitating emotional burden. This is the AI description of that. Heads up, tools do identify AI language. So so it would behoove you not to edit that. Okay. These were the two codes within that. And then here are the supporting excerpts. Okay. Alrighty. And by the way, I don't get hung up. We can do a deep dive into the codes and other things. Okay. There's other things to be had. But to me, the main part of this thing is develop the codes, use the codes to develop the themes, then figure out how many themes really make sense. Okay. Then go through the process of tying the research questions to the themes, providing that explanation and rationale, and then doing a deep dive into each of the themes that make sense, editing that theme description, and then, excuse me, I should be over here. Pardon me. Here's the theme description, editing that theme description, and then selecting the excerpts that are most representative. By the way, some of these excerpts, you have 50 excerpts for a particular theme. You don't need 50 excerpts. You need 3 to 5 great ones, I'll say. Okay, so just to know, we put them all there, but just select a few of them. Okay. I think I'm going to take some questions here, and let's go into the Q&A. What is the best format to submit data in this platform? Word, Excel? Okay, well, Melissa's answering that, but I'll say verbally. I mean, I think a Word document is fine. It will pick up a PDF. You can also paste in there. Okay, so, all right. Pearl, you want to put your your question into the Q&A, please, if you would. Okay. All right. And now, has anyone shared projects with me? Let me just hit refresh here.
If you've shared your project, please raise your hand and then we can unmute you and work through it.
I don't see any. I don't see any here though. Okay, so what is the security model for the submission of the interviews? Great question there, James. So with all of our AI tools, so our APIs do not permit the training of any models. Okay, so there's no training going on with your data. That's one important thing. Okay. The second thing is when we go to the security of these things, and we go down to the resources, and I think it's under security here, privacy and security. So in the intellectusqualitative.com website, and in the footer, this is just some of the information that we do share or do not share. But Melissa, we need the SSL business. Where is that in here, please? Sorry.
I posted it in the answer to his question, and I'll put it in the chat as well.
Okay, is it on the
It's
site
under
as
the
well or not?
FAQs. Yeah.
Is it in here as well?
Yeah, it's under the FAQs.
Under the FAQs. Okay.
But you could go to the other questions. I posted it.
Fine. Well, no, now I'm curious though. Okay. Okay, so here you are. So under the FAQs, IRB compliance and data security, I just think it's worth pointing out. Okay. Other questions. Could the tool be utilized with focus group data and not just individuals? Yes, and with limitations. So yes, you can put in lots of conversations, but it's not going to identify when you have an interview by Joe Jones, that excerpt is going to be by Joe Jones. Here, you're going to lose that fidelity of who's saying what exactly. I mean, you can go back, you can backtrack it, okay? But anyway, so you can do it, but you lose that granular, okay, who said what. John, can images be analyzed? I do not believe so. Chemical structure or spectra. So you're picking up on what I just showed. So no, it's looking for textual data. Okay, so not images per se. Okay. All right. I have one interview in my project. It created a bunch of codes and numerous themes. How do I collapse the themes as you build that data. We just want to be careful there. Okay. So how do we collapse themes? So there's a way of creating sub-themes. Okay, so that's one way to do this thing. So if we go here, okay. So, oh boy. Okay.
Not gonna get too loud.
Okay. Hopefully you can't hear it at all. We are, we are, okay. All right. So, so you can create sub-themes by dragging a theme into a theme. Okay. So now you'll see that alignment. Here's the theme icon underneath the codes. Okay. So that you can have a sub-theme there. Okay. So that's one way to collapse it, but you could also merge themes. Okay. By clicking here, and then you can merge different themes together. Okay. All right. So there's different procedures for that. Okay. And we can get into more with that, Jay, in a demo if you'd like. Other questions at the moment? Or projects that you want to share? Okay, I don't see any projects. How do you pose questions of your data? Like, how do barriers or challenges or policy implications between well-resourced schools versus less resourced schools? So that's an interesting question. So I would probably do a few things. One, I'd probably use some a priori codes, okay? So I'd be creating under a project. Go ahead. Under a project, okay, I would go ahead and probably do a few things. One, I would create individual code names, okay, for the type of resources, and kind of keep those questions there for me, Melissa, if you wouldn't mind. I would probably create those code names for the type of resources that might be typical and see if there are excerpts that support that. So I'd go down that coding, and then I would go through and go into deductive coding where it's finding those excerpts. One thing. I would probably curate that data where I have resourced schools and non-resourced schools and do two separate projects. Go ahead and go through the whole thematic process and then have a crosswalk in my results chapter, which have themes that are related to both resourced and non-resourced schools. Theme 1, 2, 3. Other themes that are just for resource schools, okay, 4, 5, 6. And then just themes for non-resource schools, right? 7, 8, 9. So I think I would curate the data, create manual codes, and use deductive coding. Can you update data on an ongoing basis? The short answer is yeah, you can do that. But if I added another interview here, it's not going to change what's there, okay? I would say, wait until you have all of your themes together, all of your interviews together, get that going first, all right? Then do the analysis. So I'm not a fan of going back and doing, half business, okay? So I think you can update it. I would say just wait until you have all the data. Okay. Julia, I'm reviewing the mission statement of medical organizations. Great. I'd like to see if there's a theme. Thoughts?
And Julia raised her hand, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute her as well.
Okay. Good afternoon, Julia.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this webinar. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
I'm currently doing a content analysis. I'm looking at medical I'm looking at the Global Down Syndrome Foundations and the listing of medical centers that geared their services to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and they all have a different mission statement. And I want to see if there's a theme connected to all of their mission statements. I do have everything in a spreadsheet right now, but how can this help me kind of like weed out what I need to see? Am I making
Yeah,
it?
I think you can. I have a data file here.
I can send it you
Oh, send it to me. No,
Okay.
yeah, I can send a mock thing, but yeah, and instead of my mock, let's go ahead and get your what you have here, and you can email it to you can email it to that James at Intellectus 360.
Can you
So
put that in
some,
the chat so I can just copy and paste
yeah,
it? Thank you.
and I see Jason, I see you've sent over something too, so thank you for that. I'm just getting that. Um, okay, and just let me know when you send that.
Okay.
So,
On it.
so the tool. Oh, there you go. So hi there. So the tool is smart. I'm looking at something else. Okay, so the tool is smart, but I think that there's a fair amount of thinking about how things are curated. Okay, I'm going to focus here. So Jason, your email has not come through yet. Just let me know when that's been sent. I don't have it just yet. Okay, so I'm going to put myself on mute for 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Real quick, man. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let me see. I don't have it just yet. Were you able to send that, Julia?
Yep, I'm just cleaning it up right now. I'm
All
just
right.
going to take everything out that's out, and all I just need is the mission statement, what they
Fine.
call the summary.
Okay.
Thank you.
While you're doing that, I'll exemplify creating a project and then uploading new data. Let's just call it a sample. Okay. And create the project. And if I go to upload video, because I had one from Jason. So if I go to GMT, so I can find that right here. So when you go to upload a file, oops, what is going on here? What was sent to me? I presumed it was just an audio file. Jason, what was sent here? So what is this?
And we'll unmute you as well and kind of just go back and forth.
Yep. Hey, what kind of file did you send over there, Jason?
Hang on, he's not unmuted yet.
Okay, so these are the file formats that are available. Okay, all right. So, and I think you've sent a.
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can. What
Okay.
kind of file was that?
Yeah, so I sent over a Zoom transcript file, so it's in a .vtt format. So maybe what I need to do is I can just quickly convert it to maybe a PDF format, it looks like. No, maybe.
PDF or Word's even better.
Yeah, perfect. So let me
Um,
do that. Let me convert it to a quick PDF, and then I'll send it right back to you.
Perfect. And Melissa, that's not a bad idea, is to be able to upload Zoom. I mean, it's just so darn popular. Okay. All right. All right, Julia, how you doing on your side?
I just emailed it to you.
Perfect. I got it. I got
James,
it.
it's in an Excel file.
Oh, I see it.
Cool.
Okay. So let's just see what we have here. Okay, so here, I probably wouldn't put the state. I think I would just grab this data here.
Okay.
Let's try it. All right. I mean, and it doesn't cost us anything. Copy. And then I think I would just go to create project. Just for the moment here. Then I would just go to blank transcript, begin editing, and just paste that sucker. Hey, wait a second, begin editing, and then Control V, and just paste it in there, okay?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hit save. And then let's just go to inductive coding.
Okay.
So the advantage of this over, say, a chat or something is we're going to do a few rounds of this. So, right, we're going to get codes, then we're going to get themes.
Cool.
So let's see what's happening here. The other way with respect to uploading it, so we have 6 codes and 48 excerpts. The we'll get there in a second. So I mean, you could have it, but you could have each of these by the name of the organization if you wanted, okay? So that's one thing to think about. The other thing is so here are the codes over here, care coordination, community resources, and so forth. You would go into these 3 dots into the details and see if this name and description makes sense to you, okay? And then the excerpts that go with it. That'd be round 1. Round 2 is really going into, oopsie. Round 2 is really going into the themes, okay, and selecting automatic thematizing. That's under AI tools, AI assisted thematic analysis. It's come with 3 themes. Great. Okay, again, you can go into those 3 dots, go into details. Okay, all right.
This is so much easier than using in vivo or using Max QDA.
That, Melissa, this is being recorded, correct? So this is perfect.
It is.
So can we use your quote? That's perfect.
I mean,
All right. We
all you
won't.
did was drag and drop and hit 2 buttons.
Right. Right. Exactly. So, and then here is for the theme. So then we want to go into the theme, into the insights, into the theme description. Again, I would check all of these. So for the first theme, and I'll just do one of them, we have the theme name, family-centered support systems.
Oh my
Again, you're the expert. This can make some sense. This is the description of that theme. Comprehensive services and interventions designed to support the entire family unit rather than focusing solely on an individual with Down syndrome. That makes some sense. Recognizing that family members are interconnected and that effective care requires addressing the needs, education, and resources of all family members to enhance collective well-being and functioning. How does that hit you?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
This is awesome.
And then here are the supporting excerpts for that. As I say, I would only pick maybe 5 tops.
Tops, yeah.
Okay. And then you can do that for each of the themes. Okay. Integrated. You can just do a few of these here. That's fine. Look at the next theme. Integrated lifespan support systems. Okay. All right. So these are resonating more with you because I don't really know your topic, but you can read through that and see if that makes sense to you.
And what we can do, Julia, is after the workshop, Dr. Laney will transfer this project over to you, so you have it.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Do me a favor, how long do they have this for, Melissa?
They have it through that link through tomorrow.
Okay, so why don't we graciously give Julia 7 days for this?
Sure.
All right. And then Julia, I'll transfer this to you, okay? So this way you can play with it or add other things and so forth. And
Thank
then
you.
just to kind of finish this tennis swing, let's finish the 3rd one. Okay. All right. And then again, you can look at this to see if that makes sense to your brain.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about the use of the the AI in the systems,
Okay.
but
Okay. That's why your human brain's got to be like, hey, the first two make sense, but the other one doesn't.
yeah, the first two make a lot of sense.
Perfect. Okay. So hence the right, the tool and your expertise. All right. All right. Okay. We cool with that?
Yeah, thanks for running that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. And then just for the fun of it, let's just do this. I'll just download this. And this downloads into an editable Word document. So let me just, oopsie, hang on. So I just want to get this back to you just by hitting reply. Reply. Okay, so there's that. And then inside. Okay, so that's coming to you. And just for everyone else's benefit, just to show what I sent, is this document here. So in pretty short order, okay, we have the three themes here, okay? And I think, Julie, again, your comment, and for everyone else's benefit, that, hey, guess what? This is not perfect. Two of those worked, one did not. Hunky dory. You're only 5 minutes in though, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. So that your human brain's got to be in there too. All right.
Thank you.
Terrific. Yeah. And are you student or faculty?
I'm faculty.
Good.
I teach our qualitative research course for my program, in
Right
the
on.
Department of Public Health, and we do a lot of qualitative data analysis, focus groups, interviews, narratives and data narratives, and I've
Well,
used in vivo in the past. I've used we have Max QDA at our university, and
ooh,
it's so hard for them to learn.
right. So where I'm gonna
Oh, look
actually
at
get with you, but we also have
that.
a whole bunch of lessons here associated with it. Okay. And they're all integrated behind your LMS. It's competency based. It's competency based. So the grades go to your grade book. Okay. It goes behind any LMS. And then there's about 20 lessons to be had there. So just to share that with you. And then Ashley, I'm sure will follow up with you and offer you demos and for you or other faculty and then trials and so forth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Julie, I'm going to scoot.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Bye. Okay, so Jason, let me see here. So Jason, you sent, okay. You sent your data. Jason, did you send you sent the PDF? Okay. All right, so let me see if I can get that. Let's go back and go to projects and go to create project and Jason's. Okay, and then create project and then GTM. So I'm going to go to upload data. I think that's it. Jason, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know
can
that I
now.
was muted. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so here's your interview. So you
Yes.
can upload as many interviews that you want.
Yep.
Go to AI tools, go to inductive coding, okay? And just as I, was speaking with Julie about, in terms of vetting these codes, the code names, the themes, theme names, and so forth, okay? And Julia, just to let you know, you could go back at the code level. And I'll show that in a second. Sorry, I should have shown that. So it's found 11 codes and 40 excerpts here. So you can go into each one of these codes details and look at that code name and description, okay, and the excerpts. We can then go through the AI to do the thematizing. Okay, it's identified 5 themes. That seems reasonable. And you can go into each one of these themes, details, and make sure that that name and description makes sense. I like to jump to the insights document and into the bar chart. Well, we only have one large interview, so this is less helpful, but I guess it's good to know that these first 4 themes have, up to 4 or 12 excerpts, while this one has just has one excerpt. So maybe that's not the best theme in the world. For you and for Julia, I went into the theme description, but you could have went into the code description as I'm doing now and do a drill down at each of the codes, okay? So if you didn't care for the AI theme, maybe some of the codes though are capturing something.
Do you mind clicking on the diaspora consciousness? I'm interested to see kind of what it's pulling in that area.
Yeah. So for this is the name, description, okay? All right, and some of the supporting excerpts, okay?
Excellent. Excellent.
All
And
right.
so I think that what you were stating earlier is that it's probably in the best interest of the tool to upload all the data at the same time and not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You just don't want to be doing it twice. I mean, I think think about it with any other tool, a quant tool. I only have half my data and I'm running analysis. You want to wait for all your data.
Yeah.
We do lit review, okay, and we're using AI to collapse different um, articles together. I don't want just 50 articles when I have 75 coming. Okay. So you want to do the best you can to have finish that process. Okay. All right. All right. So and then so you can do this, and then you'll have this, and then you can do this for each of the codes. You can do this for each of the themes. Okay. Here's the first theme. Obviously, if it doesn't make sense, that excerpt, just dump it. So what I would do, Jason, is go through, do a deep dive into each theme description, and if I would probably just do the themes, but I think in Julia's case, I might just do a deep dive into the code descriptions. Okay.
And then, so does it also provide like an executive summary?
Melissa, did you hear that question?
I did.
Perfect. Great question. Just discussing it this morning. Does not provide an executive summary yet. Okay. But I think that's a critical thing to have. I think we're aligned that yes, it's a very orienting thing to have a summary, executive summary up top. I know what's coming down below, or conversely, do some granular things and then have the executive summary to kind of tie it all together. So I appreciate that question more than you know, my friend. Okay.
Awesome. As a staff member in student affairs, we do a lot of assessment work. I think across the industry where we're pulling, whether it be impact data regarding some of our focus groups and doing all sorts of things, where we want to be able to kind of synthesize this data in a very digestible and palatable form to our cabinet level officials in the university, whether it be our academic deans, or sometimes it's even me as a doctoral student conducting interviews as I'm currently dissertating. I think that also provides some insight to say, okay, this is what I need to make sure if the tool is capturing this, me as the author of this project, I'm making sure that I'm including into my dissertation and things like that.
I hope by the next time that we meet, we have that.
Excellent.
We have that in the quant tool. Okay. So we've already integrated that. That's not the right project to be had there, but so we already, when we have analysis, hopefully there's some analyses there. Okay, I won't get into the whole thing, but we do have that AI summary. Okay, so but we want to have the AI summary. So I like what you're saying. So we have summary. So the things that would be important in that summary to you is just say one more time, please.
I was just saying to be able to provide an executive summary for this for any project, I think that it allows us to be able to kind of check to see and include the work that we're doing.
Got it. Yeah, I think that that's coming. One of the things I think executive summaries is good. I also think some next steps, right? So um, based on the data, based on the results of that, okay, what are the next steps? How does this inform any kind of practice and so forth? And then also perhaps tying to literature, okay, as well. How does this bounce off any lit review that is out there in the world? So I think there's several fish to fry there with the summary. Data is part of it, but doing something with it and truly making it actionable as well as understandable through an exec summary, I think is all, great fish. So again, thank you for that. All right, other questions we have, my email, I know, okay, faculty member, and I've used in vivo. Boo, boo. Well, I think as Julia said, who teaches it, that it's a heck of a lot easier to navigate. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Can I feed IQ conceptual literature grant proposals to help the programmers with inductive or deductive? Yeah, I mean, I think you can use any kind of data, Jay. I don't think it's so I've had kind of open-ended responses and it's done a pretty good job there. And Jay, if you want a demo or a trial, just let Ashley know. Okay, so I want to kind of wrap up. I do want to say that we do have Intellectus Statistics, which you can see the results are in plain English prose, assumptions are built in. It's very modestly priced, by the way. 59 bucks a month is pretty cheap, and annually it's less than that when you have a department, much less. We also have the lit review tool coming in a month or two. And the what else do I want to say? So then, and I think that's about it. Final thoughts before we wrap up here?
We're going to send the recording to everyone along with links to our other webinars. You're going to have Ashley's contact information if you're faculty. If you're students, you'll have Samantha's contact info, and reach out to us anytime with questions, okay?
Great. Thank you so much. I wish you all a great happy Father's Day to all your fathers and mothers who are fathers. And anyway, we'll see you next time.